Welcome to the Grey Havens Hour. In the first episode, we traced the long shadow of dragons, beings forged for apocalypse, in a world that burned hot enough to sustain them. In the second, we met Smaug, a dragon perfectly adapted for a smaller age, who understood his worth and demanded the world remember it. In the third, we saw what dragons leave behind, not healing, but wounds that linger long after the fire goes out. Today, we come to the final question. Why are there no dragons left? Not merely why they die, but why the world no longer produces them. Dragons do not disappear all at once. They diminish. They become fewer, quieter, more withdrawn. They survive by secrecy, by distance, by memory, until even secrecy fails. This is Tolkien's pattern across the ages. Power does not end in a single blow. It thins, it fades, it recedes. The absence of dragons is not a sign of triumph. It is a sign that the world itself has changed. Dragons were not made for ordinary times. They were forged for wars meant to end history, for an age when the world itself was contested ground. That age passes. The great organizing will behind apocalypse falls away. The wars that demanded continent-breaking terror comes to an end, and with them, the creatures shaped for that scale of destruction lose their place. Dragons were never meant to endure indefinitely. They belonged to a kind of world that no longer exists. As the ages pass, something subtle happens. Monsters stop appearing. Not because danger is gone, but because it no longer takes mythic form. Dragons move from lived terror to remembered story. They become something people speak of carefully, as though naming them might still matter. A world that remembers dragons is not the same as a world that still breeds them. This is not progress without cost. It is loss. Smaug is not the last dragon by accident. He is the last dragon that could still belong to the world that produced him. When Smaug dies, nothing follows. No answering roar, no heir, no return. There is no final fire released into the world, no power transferred, no hidden mechanism completed. There is only silence. The world does not answer Smaug with another. That silence is the meaning. The ancient malice that once shaped dragons does not vanish. It diffuses. It spreads too thinly to gather again. There is no single being left large enough to carry it visibly. No creature vast enough to bear it as spectacle. What remains is quieter, ordinary, human. The fire does not go out in a blaze. It cools. And in cooling, it becomes harder to name and easier to ignore. The fourth age is not safer, it is quieter. The great horrors fade, and so do the great wonders. No dragons darken the sky, no fire reshapes the map. But the moral struggle does not end. It moves inward. Tolkien never believed history concludes in victory. It concludes in responsibility. When the monsters are gone, the burden passes to those who remain. Dragons once externalized evil. They gave fear a shape, a lair, a name. Without them, evil does not disappear, it internalizes. Greed without hoards, power without towers, fear without monsters to point at. The danger of a world without dragons is not that they return, but that people forget why they matter. The Age of Dragons does not end with a roar, it ends with silence. Not because evil is gone, but because the world no longer burns hot enough to give it such terrible shape. The last fire dies not in victory, but in memory. And what we choose to remember, what we choose to guard against, will shape the world that follows. Until next time, may your courage endure without spectacle. May your vigilance outlast your fears. And may you remember that the quietest ages still ask the most of us. Until next time, may your courage endure without spectacle. May your vigilance outlast your fears. And may you remember that the quietest ages still ask the most of us.